All right, welcome back to what is now the Pack 53rd cast. New season, new cast. Lion stepped down. I don't know why. He's probably really intimidated by my alpha manliness. So we have Zaka now stepping in as co-host.
Hello
Zaka, say
there.
hi. Yeah, we figured the anime girl would be really good with our demographic.
Great.
Well, that's what you're here for. So everyone can prepare for daily, or I guess weekly proposals as I ask Zaka to marry me in different places. This one's already failed, but join us next week when it happens again. And that's the podcast. To see you guys all next week. All right. Seriously, though, this is, I guess, season 2. I guess we took like a 3-week, 1-month break. I don't know why we did, but we're back. And, to change things up, we were doing, podcasts with mostly Pack 53rd members. Now we have exclusively Pack 53rd officers. Everyone say hi to Porty. He's new. He's never been on before.
I've never been on this podcast before, ever.
And then Smudgem, who actually hasn't been on the podcast before.
Sup?
Just sup?
Yeah.
That's all you got to say?
I mean, what else am I going to say?
Okay, so disclaimer to everyone, Smudgem is not a woman.
Yeah.
Despite the voice.
However, I do call myself a Fuda, so you're welcome. Not really.
Why'd you have to add that? Why'd you have to add that?
Because it's fun. It's funny. It's
Porty, don't get mad at him trying to gender himself, herself, itself.
Okay, well,
For everybody listening, no, that is not our topic this week.
No,
it should be.
Well,
it fucking should be. We should have an all Fuda-cast.
Yeah.
Fuda-cast.
We can just fucking watch Bible Black. Let's have a let's watch of Bible Black. English or English dub. Bible Black.
Yeah.
All right. So, Zaka, what's the theme what's the topic this week?
The topic this week is RP etiquette, actually.
Yeah, which is why we brought Porty on, something he's very bad at.
I'm great at RP etiquette.
So yeah, I mean we've done just about everything: how to make a character, how not to make a character, how to make a bad guy, how not to make a bad guy. We've talked about demons, watching Matthew McConaughey movies. That's my personal favorite, by the way. But we actually haven't talked about like just standard, don't be a cunt-esque rules for roleplay, and that's why we're doing this one this week. And again, as usual, my idea. I will take all the credit in the most humble way possible. So go ahead, Zaka, ask the first question. I want pop your RPCast co-host Sherry.
All right. Okay, for the guest today, what do you consider to be bad RP etiquette? What do you do when somebody does this? Do you talk to them OC about it? Do you just ignore it?
Can I go first?
Yeah, you go first, Smudgy.
Oh, look at this etiquette.
Yes.
I can't. Let's take a fucking timer to see how long all this politeness fucking dies down. Anyway, go on, Smudge.
Simple. Just ghost them. Then you're done. Bam. Easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Could you elaborate on that like a little bit more? Because you just just ghost them.
Yeah. If people are being weird, you just ignore them like you do it if someone texted you randomly, specifically on Snapchat. Yep.
Well, you see, Smudge, and this is about RP etiquette, and I'd say that's not very etiquette. That's not being very.
He's right. That's not being very etiquette.
No,
it's not very etiquette.
It's what?
Seriously though. Where's the first question go? There it is. I would consider bad etiquette with being like, I don't know, just like you can just start to tell things start to get fishy real quick. Like if it takes like a long time to repost and it's just like a simple word or something as weird as like very descriptive paragraphs about something, and like I don't know. What do you guys think?
Okay, so when it comes to me, it's generally it's not a process of just suddenly ghosting them. It's usually a very elaborate 9-month process where I gradually start to ignore them a little bit more.
Damn.
Like become very vague with my responses, more and more vague. I'm not making this up. This has happened several times. I just slowly ignore them more and more until and then I come up with excuses like, oh, I'm busy, and eventually I just don't respond to them because I just become so like distant.
I feel like that's OOC etiquette.
Is it?
I feel like it's not because that's talking about like how to deal with assholes on an OC level. I'm talking about like on an IC level. Because on an IC level, if you're talking roleplay, when I start to because Smudge earlier was talking about if somebody's taking a while to post, and my brain immediately went back to when I was a villain in Lord of the Rings Online or whatever fucking game I happen to be on, pretty much. When you're when people are trying to fight you and their posts are really slow, and then you start to realize that they're dragging it out so their friends can show up and help them.
Well, again, in that situation, okay, waiting 9 months probably isn't very ideal in that situation because you're just dragging out for 9 months, which obviously isn't ideal. But in that situation, it's still kind of an OC thing, isn't it? Like, if you don't really want to deal with someone being an nincompoop and being a big bumhole, then you gotta just say, hey, dude, this isn't cool. You either talk it out with them, or you just bugger off and say thanks for the role play. It's appreciated. Your time's appreciated, but basically your role play sucks, and I'm going. Goodbye.
So be really polite until the last sentence of your
until the last
response.
sentence.
Yeah. Just your role play is fucking dog shit, and I hope you die. Have a good one.
Well, I actually have a personal experience with this. I had somebody who just instantly godmodded me right off the bat, and I was just like, okay, this RP's over. Bye.
Yeah.
That we will get to god modding because I have a story from recently. It's pretty good. It involves broken penises.
Oh man.
Next question.
Fucking sure. Next question. I mean, because we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. How long is too long to make somebody wait for a response, or how long?
With absolutely no indication.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll answer. The answer is however patient you are, because the truth is we all have different time constraints. We're all busy with different things. And if you don't really have the time to wait for someone to make these long-winded posts, then if your time is better spent doing something else.
Well, then here's a better question then. How long would it take for you to feel guilty if you were making somebody wait for your post?
All right. I don't know. I guess that would honestly depend on how long they're taking for their posts, because sometimes I'm in the mood to do these really long, intricate little posts, and then sometimes I'm just feeling lazy and I do these really short, unelaborate posts.
Aren't those the best?
I guess. Yeah, those are the best.
Those are my
where you just
fucking favorites. Just one
really
word answers.
Simple. I guess when they're doing their little intricate responses, I tend to also do the same out of hey, they've got time, I've got time, let's put the effort in. But if someone's gonna give me sloppy answers, I kind of just do the same, because it's kind of well,
you should be giving 100% all the time.
Yeah, yes. Wow. I think that's a little bit I don't know, selfish to expect someone to be giving 100%.
Well, if they're role playing with me, they should be, because I'm basically a visiting dignitary from somewhere. I don't know.
You're like Pope Francis.
I am Pope Francis.
I'm copies of Undertale.
I am exactly Pope Francis. Also, Smudge, please respond. I'm tired of Porty's voice.
I was gonna say more like Pope Ranzo's, am I right? But kind of backfired.
Oh,
hey! I was gonna say Pope Douchebag.
That's much better.
You can't say that about the Pope.
You can't say that about the Pope.
I mean, are we religious?
What a cock.
I'm not.
I am, for the sake of fucking shaming Zaka.
I mean, I come from the deep south, so baptism, but I don't care.
Look, Zaka, let's get married. It's fine.
No, you already used your token for this episode.
Shit, I forgot. Anyway, Zaka. Anyway, Smudge, please answer the question. Zaka's being very rude.
Simple.
Her chicken tendies.
Basically, what Porty said, it just depends, really. If you're patient, if you're not, if they're taking way too long, then yeah, I can't really tell what's going on in the Google document. But yeah, it depends upon what Porty's doing, with the question answer. Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess I'll milk this a little bit more. So, follow up. How do you how do you like handle getting out of it then? Because usually, like, if I'm sitting there waiting for a response from someone, just like a random like role play out in the blue with no consequence, and they're taking forever to respond, I'll just have Ranzo go, "Oh, I'm gonna go masturbate or something," and then I'll just leave before they respond because I don't really care.
Personally, it depends upon if I know the person or if I don't. Like, if it's just a random person, just like, I'm bored, I'm gonna go RP in the tavern, and if they go like AFK or like take so long for their post or whatever, then it really just depends upon how much patience I have to give. You know what I mean? Like, some days it's like, oh, I have so much patience. Some days it's like, okay, I gotta go. This is just too much. It's boring. I can't. You know?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Mm.
I can't really do much roleplay in taverns anymore before I just have to peace out because I have no patience for it. Zach, go ahead and ask the next question.
All right,
do your job.
If you find yourself in a situation where you can't out of RP with someone who has poor etiquette, how do you handle the situation?
Panic. You just start panicking.
Or you do what I said and just ghost out of existence, just whoosh, out the door.
Get in a roleplay fight. If you start to lose, quit the game and then later say your internet went out.
Or do you
that's all. That's legitimately all you need to pick up from this podcast.
Pull the plug.
Mom, get the camera and pull the plug.
Yeah.
Porty.
Yeah.
Speak.
What's up?
Answer the question.
What's the question again? I kind of zoned out. I'm not gonna lie. Let's hear it. Let's hear it again.
The question is, if you find yourself in a situation where you can't opt out of RP with someone who is poor etiquette, how do you handle the situation?
We've lost. Why are you asking questions on my podcast, Muggin? What the fuck?
I suppose in a sense I've already answered that, though, have I?
Well, are you?
I read the fucking questions.
Or girl, you should have stated that more obviously. Yeah.
I thought that was very clear when I said I am the host.
Well.
Okay, guys, people are here listening to this podcast for the interesting roleplay information, not this childish.
People are here for
banter.
Childish. It's not even banter. It's just petty, childish behavior.
Slapping.
Speaking of childish, let's move on. Porty doesn't get to speak now. No. So yeah, answer the question, Porty.
Nah, moving on. I don't get to speak now.
Oh fuck, that's perfect.
My previous response to the last question answers that sort of.
So, what was your previous response to the last question, Porty?
It was about letting yourself out OOC-ly. Like, again, you just say thank you for your time. Thank you for role playing, but I'm going. I have either things to do or your roleplay is trash, and I don't have time for your trash. That answers that question, right?
Yes, it does.
But you like our trash?
My trash is best trash.
You are trash, Zaka. So I mean, we're not gonna start debating like semantics and stuff.
Yeah, well, I only hang around with trashy people, so I feel better about myself. So that should say something about you guys. All right. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next one. I don't know who's asking these because they're not labeled, so I'm just gonna continue to ask them without who was the person who asked them. When is it ever appropriate to shift OOC into an IC situation? And when this happens, should it be done through party chat or whispers rather than local say, so you don't fuck with other people's immersion? Which I think is a pretty standard question. Who's asking these questions? They're so easy.
Porty, answer this one first. No one.
Yeah, no, don't everybody jump in at once, please. Please, you know how I love awkward silences. It just fills up all the fucking time. Cucks.
Well, okay, fine then. I guess I'll answer this one. I mean, it's a bit. When is it ever appropriate to shift to OOC in an IC situation? I guess it kind of depends. If you're in like public roleplay and you're like role playing in a tavern, I guess if you've got a problem, then you just take it to party chat. I mean, if there are other people involved, then I mean, just as long as they're on board, then yeah, I would take it to party chat or somewhere else, because nagging at each other in IC chat isn't very etiquette. It's not very
it's
etiquette.
the absolute fastest way to derail a roleplay is just to start talking in parentheses and say chat. I would argue like there's fucking no reason that almost no reason to ever bring it into an OOC thing, because it's unless it's like, hey, my character's a demon from Earth and you just need to know this.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
yeah, exactly.
There's like those other situations like God modding or some weird like Edgelord 5000 or something.
Yeah, my character is a demon from the mists.
Yeah.
So please job to me.
Please show yourself out.
Technically, I mean, the demons are from the mists.
Yeah, they watch Matthew McConaughey movies. We talked about it.
I mean, no, seriously. I mean, that's what the Order of Whispers used to do, some demon hunting. Demons basically.
No, they didn't, Porty.
Okay.
No one's ever played Guild Wars 1. No one knows what happened in that game.
Okay.
Very true.
Never mind.
Other than fuck Cormier.
Oh, I fucking hate Cormier. I hate Cormier. But that's not about RP etiquette, is it? So I'm going to take Ranzo's position. Smudgy, what's your response to this question?
I mean, I kind of agree with both what you said. Plus, I already added a little bit of a commentary say that, like, the only issues you would have, like, to where you would need to take it in that process would be, like, if there's issues with a person's character, like, for example, god modding, or, like, going to the extremes as being an Edgelord 5000, just, like, /e dodge, you know? Like, no order to their roar page other than, like, you know, whatever. Where it's crazy, you know?
Right. Well, I don't think there's anything else you can add to that.
I mean,
it's pretty much just.
I mean, I want to build off that. So, like, in terms of like, one of the specifics on the question is like, is it okay to go in and say hi in OOC if like you're passing by a friend or a guildmate? Which I mean, that's kind of that's fine, I guess. I mean, you guys can say yes or no, but I think a better question is like, if you're just standing around role playing, like, how much does it irk you when you see somebody who is either role playing or like knows that you're role playing just pop tonics like randomly, or just start using like AoE attacks or like a bunch of stupid bullshit? Like, does that take?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, does that take you out? Does that irk you guys? What do you think?
The only time I see it as an issue if they're deliberately trying to troll you, or trying to, like, you know, like I remember back in the day in DRP, there used to be a lot of trolls back then. They would just like come up with musical instruments, just like blow a fucking horn in your face and shit. But like, as far toot toot beep beep, all that, yeah.
Toot for the toot lord.
Smudgy, I feel like you're mentioning that because we were in DR a few days ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, I didn't remember that, Porty. But see, we were doing it a bit more differently.
Were we? It was different when we were doing it.
Yeah, because we're cool kids. We're the 53rd. It's different.
Yeah, welcome to the Pack 53rd cast, where we do whatever we want, and you're a cunt for doing the same. But go on. I guess I guess Porty's up.
Yeah.
Okay then. Honestly, I don't think it's too much of a problem. I mean, if you're gonna like go into a tavern and just spam AoEs for like ages, then yeah, I mean, you're just trolling in that case. But I mean, if you just quickly do a little auto attack, you know, a little nudge, say, you know, a little.
So it doesn't bother if you're like standing around role playing with somebody and that person's just popping tonics for no reason.
It doesn't really bother me too much. I mean, like, it depends on how much they're, you know, going ahead with it. Because I mean, I'm not really immersed looking at the game, anyways, when it comes to roleplay, because our characters are just standing completely still, staring at each other.
Yeah, but
I
I feel like it takes something out of it when you're role playing with someone. Let's say it's something deep, like they're something important, you've gone up and it's like something important's happening, whether it's like they're getting information or it's a fight or like it's just something meaningful, and you're reading their post and it's getting good, and then suddenly they're a fucking quaggin. Like,
oh yeah, well, I guess in that situation, then yeah, obviously that's kind of annoying because you're trying to do some serious stuff.
I mean, but at the same time, can you
personally,
you can ignore it. That's fine. But the question is, does it irk you?
Oh,
yeah, it would irk me.
Maybe.
But I don't generally, when it comes to serious stuff. I don't generally like role play around taverns and shit, so it wouldn't really be. That's not something that would ever happen. But yeah, that would be annoying. I mean, if your roleplay partner wants to do that, like the person you're roleplaying the serious stuff with wants to do that, like suddenly they're a quaggan, then I guess they're not really taking it very seriously.
See, why
What
a
a bunch
quaggan?
of
Why can't they
twats.
be useful and be like a chair or something? You know? Get a chair
Well,
time.
it's because they got those little baboo arms. They're not strong enough to be chairs. Koopaloo. Who's the fucking... What's the name of that quaggan that is in the guild mission that you have to do? Is it Koopaloo?
Palulu? No, that's the
the fucking shitty quaggan. Poobadoo.
Poobadoo, yeah.
Poobadoo's fucking sick. I want an all Poobadoo expansion.
Isn't he a molester?
Yeah, that's why he's so
yeah,
fucking
he's literally a molester quaggan who likes people.
What a fucking hero.
Well.
Okay.
Brings a lot of meat to nice teeth, but yeah.
Next.
I mean, so we were actually already touching on this, so it kind of goes in nicely.
Okay.
So if you see people role playing, like just people out in public role playing, like out in the city, out in the wilderness, people out just wherever you happen to be, role playing in say chat with normal emotes for everyone to see. Do you whisper them before approaching them, or do you just go up and say, "I'm part of this now"?
Considering most people who are role playing in public are basically standing in corners waiting for other people to approach them because they're too lazy to approach others, I would say you should probably
guilty as charged.
I don't think people generally expect you to whisper them. I don't think that's a thing. Maybe I'm wrong, because I've been approached by loads of people without being whispered, and I've approached loads of people.
Is strong, you know, but
I've approached loads of people without whispering them. Like that's just never really been a thing for me.
Yeah, Taka, I'm gonna make you answer before I grace everyone with my response.
Personally, I actually do mention with people, it's just like, hey, is this a scene I can jump in on? But I'm always worried. I am personally paranoid about accidentally walking in on something and making somebody upset, or being in an area that I'm not supposed to be, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean that makes that I could see that. For me, it's personally, I always jump in because if they're doing it in public, then I'm allowed in because I'm part of the public. And if I see them, if they start, I actually always just kind of secretly hope that they go, "Hey, this is secret. You're not allowed in on it." So I can just respond back and go, "No, you're an asshole. Don't do it in public if you don't want people joining."
Yeah, if you're doing it in public, I mean, you could just do it in party chat. Otherwise, it doesn't really make much sense.
You know, it just came to me. It depends on the game because I've seen it in different games. In Guild Wars 2, people are way more open to just come up and say, "Hey, yo, what it do?" But in like games like Final Fantasy 14, and keep in mind this is about the role play as a whole, not just about Guild Wars. I almost called it Guild Wars. It's Final Fantasy 14. It's a lot more people whispering you and say, "Hey, can I come up to you?" It's weird. It's really weird. Especially since in Final Fantasy 14, that's a game where you can have like a profile. People can look at your information to see if you're a role player or not. And you can write just, "Hey, walk-ups are welcome," and people will still walk up to you. I think they're more polite in that game. Probably due to all the erping.
Yeah.
Hello, so can I have a fuck?
Oh, God.
Speaking of which,
hey, girl, hey, baby, you want to fuck?
Oh, my God.
That's how they speak of Final Fantasy?
No.
That's how I'm gonna seduce Zaka in the end. I'm just gonna say that.
You use 2 tokens.
With your Jersey charm, you.
I have infinite tokens. I'm just making counterfeit Zaka waifu tokens.
Bitch, these are made out of Play-Doh.
Yeah, I didn't say they were good counterfeits.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say that. So, what happens if you find open urban say chat? Do you just join on that too? Like, just go. It's in the public.
Well, yeah. Actually, I would totally join on that because I would just have Razoo walk up with a bucket of water and go, "No, shame, heathens! You disgrace the house of God," or something like that.
Of some god, yeah.
Because that's where they do it. They do it in churches.
Ugh.
Zaka, ask the next question and get us away from the goddamn subject.
What really is roleplay etiquette? Is it defined solely through IC interactions or both IC and OC? What are some examples of both good and bad roleplay etiquette?
Well, that's like some real philosophy, like grade question there. What really is roleplay etiquette?
What it do? What that mouth do?
I mean, I did philosophy in college, so I should be able to answer this, but
explains your lack of a
pretty.
job.
Yeah, that does explain my lack of a job.
Ow.
Since when did philosophy get
Was that part of your gender studies major, Porty?
My gender studies major.
Oh god.
I tried to get into stem cells research with it, but for some reason they rejected me.
Hey Ranzo, can I just play like the audience button on my soundboard, just like for round of applause, if you will, if you want, or no?
I think that's a no.
That's a no,
cool.
Because I'm only allowed to do that.
Oh, you have a soundboard too?
Yeah. I mean, I don't, but if I did, I would be the only one allowed to do it. So I'm gonna download it, so I'm the only one allowed to do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Shit. So we got lost up talking about Porty's feminine studies degree.
Gender studies degree.
It's the fucking difference. The only difference is how it's fucking spelled. Okay. Who wants Porty? Porty, you've studied this. You took philosophy. Answer this question first.
Oh, well, I don't really have a response for this. Roleplay etiquette.
When you hear the words roleplay etiquette, when I said, "Yo, come on the pod," literally 10 minutes before we started, because Liana was like, "Oh, we're doing a reboot. We don't need guests," and I'm just like, "Liana, you're dumb." Fucking Liana just messaged me out of the blue all the time, just saying weird stuff like Hitler was a sensitive man or like Stalin did nothing wrong. Liana, please stop messaging me like that. It's very strange.
Well, that's very weird. That sounds like something someone on the right wing would say. Honestly,
I know Liana's a fucking right wing nut job. It's it's what the truth of it is.
Anyways,
that's why she doesn't want to let Tyrese Washington on the podcast. He's trying to censor minorities.
I guess.
Let's get back on topic.
I would love Tyrese Washington on the podcast, honestly. No, seriously though, I guess
I'm pushing for it. I'm pushing real hard for it.
Roleplay etiquette, I guess, constitutes both IC and OOC interactions, and that's the extent of the answer, I suppose. Like, I don't know how else to answer that. It's just being nice to people whilst you're role playing, and not being a dickhead and ruining the experience for everyone. And OOC comes into that. So
wait,
I guess
I have to be nice?
Yeah, you have to be nice to people. Apparently. I don't know what it's about, but it's just a general consensus, I guess, that you have to be nice.
Doesn't that fucking suck?
It's fucking stupid.
It's the fucking worst.
I don't know. Yeah.
Fucking smudge. Answer the question.
I mean, this is my question, so you guys answer my
question. This is your question? Who the fuck let you on the podcast if you're part of the audience?
Jesus Christ.
The reason I keep inviting Porty is because I know he doesn't watch this. I know he doesn't care. He only cares about the ones that he's on because he's full of himself for whatever reason. I don't know why he would ever be full of himself.
I re-listen to the podcasts where I'm in them, but not the other ones.
The only ones where you in. Yeah.
And the ones where I'm whispered, where someone's talking shit about me. I got whispered that once.
I do that on a near constant basis. All right, well, I guess I'll answer Smudgy's question, and Zaka can after she's done writing our wedding vows.
No, that's 3.
It's actually 4.
God damn.
Like it's Porty fucking had it down. It's to like expand on it. It's hey. Don't God mod. Hey, don't take forever posting. Or like if you're gonna AFK, don't ninja if you can help it. Or hey, if you're gonna like touch somebody, put a temp there. Don't put touches. Like even if that person like somehow dodges you, like poking them on the shoulder while you're right behind them, they didn't hear you coming up. Don't just always put in attempts there. You don't, your character can never just write that you do something. And that we'll get to that. That's power gaming, God modding, whatever you want to call it. We'll get to that more in a little bit. But Zaka, Go ahead and answer the question.
Oh, when I used to run DeviantArt groups, I had so many rules about this. It was pretty much RP etiquette is just don't take control of another person's character. Don't hit another person's character. Don't without permission. That is. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
And
comes back to it every week. Don't be a prick.
I swear, every episode I'm on, we've said it some form.
No, it's been part of every episode is don't be a cunt.
Well, it is a very good rule to live by.
We should have Zaka. You and I should get like a counter. Like every time, the first time it's said every podcast, we just blow air horns into the air, like boop, 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 or like whatever.
Well, you know what they say about the famous Gandhi quote, right?
Bitches ain't shit.
No, don't be a cunt. By Gandhi, he said that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was like right before he died. That was on his deathbed. He said, "Don't be a cunt," and then he fucking ate it.
It's exactly what I said.
Don't be a cunt.
Don't be a cunt. That's not.
That was
Indian
Gandhi.
at all.
That was Gandhi.
Whatever.
No,
that was as Indian an accent as "Don't be a cunt" is a Gandhi quote.
Don't
Some
be
very
a
I'm
weeb.
fuck-
I didn't know Gandhi was very weeb. Jeez.
Don't be a cunt.
Do not be a cunt.
There
That's
you
my-
go.
Oh my God.
That's really good.
Oh my
Porty's from
God.
England, and they're fucking all over that place. So, you fuck.
That's where all our IT jobs go.
Oh my god.
That's why I don't like that State Farm commercial with Jake from State Farm, because there's no way that guy would be English, like American. If he's calling at that point in night, then Jake from State Farm would not. We'd be fucking Jake from Bangladesh. But all right, we're moving on. I fucking lost up in the subtle racism.
Okay, let's move on to that. First, can you make a list of as many RP/OOC etiquette rules as you can think of? Secondly, is it acceptable to break any of these rules?
Okay, so
Well, we literally just made the one golden rule: don't be a cunt.
Right.
So to respond to the first part of the question, can you make a list of as many RPOC etiquette rules as you can think of? I can, but I won't. Okay, because that's just gonna waste time. That's gonna waste everyone's time.
To be fair, I did say a lot of it earlier.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Can you make a list? Yes, I can make a list.
Will you?
But that's not part of the question. The answer. The question is, can I make one? And the answer is, yeah, I probably could.
Oh, Lord.
Well, okay. Here's our list. We're gonna compile a list now. Number 1, don't be a cunt.
Done.
And that was my air horn.
Do you, I have an air horn. Do you want me to?
You
play
could
it?
do the air horn. The audience
Thank
is.
you.
You could do the air
Let me-
horn.
let me
Let's
do
see how
that.
long it takes Smudgem to get this air horn.
Let's see how long it takes him to like bring up his soundboard, get it all ready.
No, it's
Find
good.
it. Right. Okay.
Cat,
There you go.
I'm gonna have Smudgem just sit in the fucking chat from now on to do that.
Thank you.
All right.
Our professional sound technician team
Just
at
kept
the
fucking
RPCast.
playing air horns off of a cell phone in a Discord chat somewhere in a lonely corner.
Over a microphone.
Living my life. This is the greatest moment.
Okay, so let's move on though.
Yeah.
Part of that question was, is it acceptable to break any of those rules? So being a little bit more serious, is it acceptable to ever, like, let's say, take things from IC to OOC, or I wouldn't, like, I guess God mod would be one of them. I don't think that would ever be acceptable. I mean, I do it
Actually-
constantly, but only I'm allowed to because I'm made out of fucking gold.
If you have permission to do so, then it's just fine.
But then it's not god modding, is it?
Yeah, that is
You're
not
not
god
forcing
modding.
I
yourself.
suppose
Like
to an
some-
outside viewer, it may look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Oh, you know what? I've got one.
uh-oh.
I fucking got one.
Uh-oh.
Here's a rule. If you think somebody is fucking power gaming or god modding or metagaming, but you're not 100%
Oh my
up
God.
to fucking stuff, maybe talk to somebody before just going out and saying, yo, in fucking whatever chat for all to see, don't just go, hey, you're being god moddy. Be like, hey, it's not whisper them or someone in charge and be like, it's not cool to do this.
Okay.
Is it what I think it is? The answer, that's actually the only one I should probably say because it happens to me a lot.
It happened to you once, and you
It
got
happens
really
to me-
salty about it.
It happens
That
to me a
happened to you
lot.
once, and we
It
never
happened
heard
to me
the
a
end of
lot.
it.
It happened to
in-
me a lot.
Officer
It
chat.
happens to me a lot. You
He's
couldn't
lying.
possibly know that. You couldn't
I
possibly
wonder
know that.
why.
Well, I
He's
was
lying.
just talking about some random thing, and now everybody knows it's something that happened, and now everyone's gonna know who I'm talking about. This is the
Everyone.
last time. This is the last time this dirty fucking Brit's gonna be on this podcast.
Okay,
I
well,
swear.
screw you. I'm gonna be on this podcast next week.
That's
because
That's probably true because no one ever
it's
wants to
probably
be on
true.
it.
Anyone
People-
wanna
people-
on that one?
If anybody, please, anybody wants to be a guest, I will gladly kill Porty Poo for no reason, and then let you on the podcast.
Please do
think
not
someone-
kill our guests.
I think like someone would rather.
But on a
run
serious
Minecraft.
note, yeah, like it
The
is
Minecraft
absurdly
podcast.
important. It's absurdly like shut up. I'm in charge. No, it's incredibly important to discuss things in whispers instead of just exploding into like a public venue in any sense because I've seen it happen and it derails a lot of things, and it makes sometimes it's just as shitty for someone to whisper you and say, "Hey, you're God Modi," but at least it doesn't derail everything. So that's my actual only thing on the list. This is the only thing I think that needs to be said in terms of that question. I'm gonna.
All right then.
Yeah,
Good.
we're gonna move on.
I'm
That was
satisfied with the responses we've had to that question.
very
Yeah,
Shit.
Zaka, you can ask the next question.
I know, but
I don't. That's why I'm asking you to ask it. Did you write it?
No, I didn't. But we've already had a conversation. We've already had another RP topic on this.
Then
Podcast.
let's touch tips gingerly.
Wow.
Let me see. In a long-term roleplay involving two individuals, let's say romantically inclined, what should one of them do if the other one suddenly loses interest in the game? We did talk about this. I think Val answered it pretty well, but I'm gonna steal her response and say it's mine. Give them like X amount of time before just saying, "Oh, their character left" or "Their character did this." But if you guys want to put in your 2 cents, 'cause I know you guys weren't on.
I guess I don't know. This happened to me.
I can't imagine anybody walking out on you, Porty.
Yeah.
Hey!
It was perfect timing. I had to.
Shit, Porty. Eat so much shit, Porty.
I'm kind of used to it. I just guzzle that shit up like a
Damn.
fucking cement machine. A little funnel it into my mouth. But yeah, I had an RP partner, and it lasted like quite a lot, like over a year. But then out of the blue, they just kind of just stopped. And it was like, oh, okay. And I gave it 9 months. I saw them log on to Guild.
Did you put it? You put it through your 9-month process.
Yeah, I put it through my 9 month, as mentioned earlier. My
The
9-month
The
process.
infamous 9-month Porty Poo process of getting fucking the slowest cold shoulder you ever done got.
It wasn't probably 9 months. It's probably more like 6 or 4. Let's be real.
Start gradually putting
I have a habit of
it's gonna get cold in
hyperbole.
here over the next 9 months.
Yeah, I asked them. They just ignore me, and they went offline again. So basically,
Clearly their process is faster than 9 months.
it's very
Do
difficult.
what I said. Just ghost them. Done.
Yeah.
Easy breezy, beautiful.
What Smudge instead? You just kind of like ghost them. You don't necessarily have to like say none of this ever happened. I guess you could just have all your like head canons and stuff. So like what happened, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you say? You agree, Smudge?
I mean, I guess, yeah. Sounds good.
So, I mean, there's 2 schools of thought here because I'm going to try to
Yeah.
drag this fucking timer out. 2 schools of thought. The one is if, it's a friend who just loses interest in the game and it's on good terms. Yeah, just like say, I would give him a little bit of time because, the dating pool in RP games is scary because everyone's a man and everybody wants your ERP, and I don't want either of those things. So, you stay in contact, give them like X amount of time, however much you feel is, fitting before saying, hey, I want to jump in, or like, hey, I want to jump in and like come up with a reason why your character's gone. And maybe they'll decide to come back. And if they don't, then you can come up together with a reason why why they left and what you can do from there. Now, on the other school of thought is if it ends because of an OOC shit show, which has also happened to me. Surprising. People get upset by my stunning personality on occasion, and they want me to go away.
I wonder why.
Marry me, Zaka.
No.
Okay.
That's 5.
I think it's actually 6.
Should follow restraining, honestly.
No, I'm pretty sure it's at 5.
I mean, does it really matter at this point? The tokens are just gross.
I'm running out of Play-Doh.
Just mold those coins.
So, I mean, in that case, that's honestly depends on how you want to do it. Usually when it comes to that, like, it's happened to me a couple times. It's always left me in an awkward spot in which I wound up just having to leave the game. Happened to me on Guild Wars once, and I wound up quitting. Happened to me on the Old Republic, and I quit. Thank God, I needed a reason to get off that fucking shithole game. But, I mean, with that, like, it's difficult to say. Usually just say they go their separate ways is my advice, because you don't want to say, hey, their character did this when there was actually absolutely no IC discussion about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's that. That's that one. Zaka, did you want to say anything or no?
I mean, pretty much hit the what's this fucking saying? The nail on the head or something? Head on nail.
Yeah, I did the thing. I did the thing, and we're moving on.
You did good, yeah.
All right.
Suck,
well, this is the last question before we probably will just talking about something else for a second. If someone misinterprets your roleplay as god modding, an example, having an age switch you can produce once every 2 minutes, and then blah blah blah. If someone fuck this example, I don't know what it means. If someone misinterprets your roleplay as god modding, how should you respond? And how especially should you respond if they're being a cunt and breaking that golden rule?
Well, like with another example, that's a good example because I play a Guardian, so obviously Aegis is a thing Guardians can use. But I guess you know how the good old /E dodges.
Yeah.
The old standard.
But when you're playing something like a Daredevil and a Thief, who are specifically like their magic, like shadow arts and their acrobatics are like specifically designed to dodge your attacks, like it's kind of like it's a bit. I guess it's a bit more difficult. I mean, I basically guess all you have to do is just justify your reasons for doing what you did, and justify it not being power gaming. And if they disagree, then it's just like, okay, then you're kind of power gaming by not letting me do it.
That is not how it works, sir.
Turn it around.
That is not how it works.
Turn it back around on them. That's how you do it.
Yeah, call him a racist. That'll do it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Smudge?
I mean, God, what was the question again? Let me read it real quick. If someone, okay, god mining, blah blah blah. Okay, so I mean, I don't know. I just kind of go with the thing I said. Just ghost them. I mean, at that point, if they're god mining, they're just not worth your time. I mean, unless you guys are going to talk about it specifically and have an in-depth conversation to fix the issue. If it's just going to be like, no, I want to do what I want, then you just gone on up and ghost away.
Man, we're using the word ghost almost as much as we use the word cuck.
Yeah. New word, yeah.
Zaka, what you think? What you think, girl?
I personally would have a discussion with them mostly because I usually only roleplay with people who I'm friends with. I'm not very good with stranger roleplay. So usually it's just like, I'm sorry, how can we fix this, et cetera, and actually have a good discussion because I trust the people I roleplay with to be not an asshole.
Joke's
on you.
You
want to discuss it and actually be civil.
What an asshole you are. Why are your ideas so bad, Zara? That's a bad idea.
Like I said, just accuse them of power gaming themselves.
Just report them for sexual harassment and be done with it. I mean, I think this goes back to what I was saying, and you guys were trying to shut me down for speaking the truth like 5 minutes ago. You should always, if you think someone's god modding, you should always first before like you come to any conclusions, because what you think might be god modding especially in the context of this question, could very well be explained by something else that's not actually God modding or power gaming in any way. And then all you've done by just accusing them blindly of God modding is derail everything, and maybe make them feel shitty about their roleplay, and that takes you out of it. Again, oddly enough, happened to me quite a few times. But if they're rude to you about it, then ghost them. Like that's all you need. Like there's I have a particular issue with that though, because very partial to if someone's rude to me, it's like opening the floodgates so I can unleash hell upon them.
Yeah.
So generally I'll just destroy them with words, but you should probably just ignore them. Don't be like me. No one should be like me. I'm too good.
Please don't be like him.
Yeah.
Please don't be like him. I can't tell you how much hassle Ranzo is to have a.
We only need one Ranzo, please.
It's because I get all the work done. You wouldn't have anything to do. If there is a second Razoo, you would have nothing to do.
If getting the job was like digging a deeper hole, then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can only dig to China so fast by myself, even if my arms are replaced with shovels. We got one more question, and then I want to talk about just like God modding in general for a second. What's your opinion of a role player taking control of another role player's roleplay? That sounded really weird. As in, claiming that they own like a tavern, like in the city.
I have one word for this. Don't.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two things for this. If people are claiming public canon places, please don't. I remember there was people who claimed the Maiden's Whisper, when actually in characterly that place kind of has Order of Whispers affiliations, and it was kind of difficult for me and my friends to roleplay there and do our like shady Order of Whispers business because they were suddenly claiming it, and it's like, what? That's like affiliated with the Order of Whispers. You can't really do that. And second of all, I've heard this in my guild a lot, where I've been trying to apparently control people's roleplay. In the Pat 53rd, when you're a soldier, you have to wear a uniform. And
God damn it! Here we go. Oh, fucking everybody get out the world's smallest violins for Porty.
Hold on, I got something for this.
It seems that people have a problem when you have to wear your uniform as a soldier. That's not me controlling your roleplay. That's me in character telling you to wear a uniform. I just wanted to reiterate that.
Who? If I'm not allowed on my own goddamn podcast to talk about people blowing up at me for no reason, you're not allowed to speak at all. So shut up. Move. The examples of this particular question I could think of is people saying that they own the busted flagon and then having like booby traps in the bar to attack people who start fights. Almost gave me cancer. I still have a GoFundMe to pay for my chemotherapy for the cancer that it almost gave me. On also a certain group of nobles who I won't name role playing outside of that one mansion in what was it, Osan?
Codicus's Manor or something.
Not Codicus's Manor. Maybe
Manor.
Yeah, the Rurikton Manor, the one you can glitch into.
The one you can glitch into.
Oh, that's Wee's mansion, or no?
Minister Wee or Woo or whatever.
Minister whatever. Yeah, people claiming that they owned that spot. Boy, were those people assholes.
Right. Oh yeah, Minister Wee. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I would like to remind anybody who will listen to this podcast, and you know who you are. You don't own the Hunter's Lodge.
That is so direct, and I know who you're talking about.
Fuck out.
I think everyone listening probably knows who you're talking about. That wasn't subtle in the slightest. Jesus Christ.
That is the sound of angels. Those fucking air horns. Yeah, everyone.
I'm not sorry, but at the same time, I'm kind of sorry.
Don't. Well, you know what? Fuck you, Hunter's Lodge people. I'm not sorry, and fuck you people in front of fucking Zamon's Manor, Minister Zaman or whatever. You know who you are, and I'm not sorry. You guys are a bunch of pricks acting like you own that particular spot of road. Fuck you.
I remember I was role-playing in the hunting lodge with my friend, and then suddenly, like, 5 people busted in from a guild and started just, like, being a nuisance, and I was like,
All right, so let's talk about god modding for a second, because we could have an entire podcast about this. This is actually originally what this one was going to be about, but I wanted to make it a little more broad. Yeah. So we're talking about god modding. Porty, what would you call what is like your loosest definition of god modding? Like, what is what is like the line they have to cross for you to go, that's a big question, but okay, they're god modding?
When it forces something upon my character, or it breaks the law in a sense. I mean, I guess maybe not breaks the law, but like, I mean, like, you're just overpowering yourself on an unfair scale. There's been times, I guess, where like someone's like gone out of their way to power game so hard, where they've like decided in their own head, they've determined how strong my character is, and that my character is obviously weaker than their character, so they can do whatever the hell they want.
Well,
because they're the strongest, of course, because they're the pack commander, obviously.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that would be it. Controlling other people's roleplay is kind of is power gaming to me.
There you go. That's a good answer. Smudge, I want to know what you think, and then I'll grace everybody with my opinions, which should be taken as fact.
I mean, if it comes to people power gaming, it's rule number 2: ghost them. Just right up there with don't be a cunt. Just bam, done. Zaka, your turn, or Ranzo, whoever.
Zaka, you can go.
Yeah.
I would say usually anything without permission, I suppose, would be upsetting to me. Though I suppose at the same time I do give some sort of leniency with them. I suppose. I give leniency to people I know.
Well, does it matter if it depends upon if you know the person and they're god modding, or does it like elaborate a little bit? Like if they god mod on your character, you're just like, oh, this is fine, I'm okay with this. Like,
well, I'm more mean like it's somebody who I know as a friend, and and they say they pick my character up, and I'm just like, oh, I know they're not gonna be a huge asshole. So
okay, so you mean like with minor things? Gotcha. Oh, I'm thinking like One Punch Man, just like punch you in the face and like boom, splatter.
One serious punch.
God, no. Yeah. If it was something like One Punch Man, I would be kind of pissed then.
Yeah, like
because I mean they kind of hurt my character.
Yeah.
I mean that's all valid. One thing I also think I would say is also like a hallmark of it, like the early stages of it, is when, let's say, you're just role playing, and let's say your character's in a bar, and it's like you and someone else at the bar, and your character gets a drink, and then your character takes a sip of the drink, and then that guy whispers you and go, oh, by the way, I poisoned that. Yeah, that's like no good.
That's a no fuck you moment.
That is a fuck yourself. That happened to me the other day. That is a moment at which point, if your response isn't go fuck yourself for some variant of said retort, then you're doing it wrong and you should stop.
Yeah, that's what you just walked on. I placed a mine there. So,
yeah. People, there was a guy, I don't think he plays it, but he was basically, his character was the Joker from Batman. His name was Joseph Kerr. And, yeah. And he put a bomb in the bottom of the sun and then blew it up and then expected everybody to go along with it.
Was he also responsible for all the bombings in the Busted Flagon too?
I don't know. No, heroes are responsible. They're the only ones with sense to do what's right. Yeah. Get rid of that fucking den of high for scum and villainy. Zaka, ask somebody something about god modding. I don't want to carry this whole podcast.
What is okay? Porty what is your worst experience with god modding?
Why are you asking me so much?
Because you seem like the more experienced one.
Yeah,
I'm
because
the most experienced.
That's why I brought him in. He's a god modding expert because that's all he fucking does.
Because I'm the god modder. Yeah.
He watches anime too.
The worst kind of power gaming I've personally experienced is when someone is like sort of like determining how powerful my character is in their own head, because they've kind of got this sort of like, oh, I'm like the central character of this story sort of mentality.
I'm the main character.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Like I have some weak characters. I have some very stupidly weak characters which are absolutely useless, but two of my characters are like my sort of like my main characters. They're really powerful, and I won't like hide that. There's nothing wrong with playing powerful characters. I guess that's a different subject. But usually I don't like to win fights, even though they are powerful. I often give people like the benefit of the doubt unless it's like a sort of like player versus environment sort of role play event where like there's NPCs. In when it's the case of NPCs, I'll go full out or I'll go with whatever the roles give me. But when it comes to player versus sort of player and role play fight, when someone is legitimately saying like, "Oh, they didn't feel a thing," when like I lob an apple at their head. They're not armored, by the way. They're not wearing anything on their head. If you threw an apple at someone's head, that would hurt a lot, right? But they just kind of like shrug it off.
Oh god, that reminds me. The worst thing I've seen with that is, oh, it was mesmer illusion.
Oh, those are the best!
I don't like it.
The absolute best.
When someone is determining my character's strength. I play a little character called Lorja. She's a tiny Asura.
Oh, we've been trying to kill her character for ages.
You've been trying to kill her for ages.
Yeah, she's the worst.
But yeah, she's like my sort of my strong character, like my strongest, I would say. Of all my characters.
Strength or writing?
Both.
Or neither.
I mean, because if that's your best attempt at writing, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Hold on, I got something for this.
Get the air horn. Get the air horn.
No, it's this one. There you go.
That's an air horn, technically.
But yeah,
still horn.
I would say like physically she's pretty strong. I like to think people who make the assumption that all Asura are weak are pretty silly. Especially, I mean, you can go to the arguments and argue if they're weak or strong. I would argue that they aren't as strong as if you were to roleplay an Asura stronger than a norm, then you're power gaming outright. But
then you're wrong.
You're doing something incorrectly.
But I mean, you could argue they have like more muscle mass because they're an underground species and stuff. I've had people outright tell me that, oh, my character can't do this and that because they're an Asura and they're this and that. When I've kind of traded them out to be this small, like, fierce sort of character. I don't know.
What I'm a little god-moddy.
Getting at is that I don't like it when people tell me what my character should be.
Lord, fuck Porty, your character cannot dunk from the 3-point line. That's god-modding.
That's god-modding.
Good lord.
Your Asura cannot dunk from the 3-point line.
I don't dunk anyone, though.
There's a joke.
You totally want to dunk somebody.
I want
dunk anyone.
No, because now there needs to be fan art of Porty wearing like fucking size 16 Jordans, just like jumping over Ranzo, dunking the ball, and the backboard just shattering.
It just bursts.
And Ranzo Ranzo's like eye patch is on fire, and he's just like, "Oh shit, what up?"
That's my character's ability to set eye patches on fire. Please respect my power, please.
Yeah, that's not god modding. That's just
also
good roleplay.
I can also have the power to inflate people's lungs until they burst. Please don't call me a power gamer. That's just my character's ability.
Yeah. Also has the power to be a bad role player, but that's Porty's power.
Also to
All right. Well, I want to talk about. So one of the worst things I've ever seen, I think I talked about it maybe once or twice, but back when I first started playing, I was in the guild called the Veil before they were dog shit. And there was a Char role player who thought that because he was a char, and this goes a lot to what you were saying, where you're saying your character can't do this or that. He's like, my character will always beat anyone else in the fight because he's a char and he's stronger. So whenever he was in a fight with a human, he refused to lose. He refused to let himself lose. My character would try to throw like blinding powder in his face, but because he was a char with enhanced smell, he would smell the movement before it was there and close his eyes.
That makes me cringe.
It was impossible.
That makes me want to punch him in his fucking face.
Oh, I did. He got kicked out.
That annoys me, especially just considering that the char didn't really start beating humans until they started getting like more technologically advanced. To be honest.
Oh no, it was actually one of the most infuriating people to deal with. And then if you called him out on it, he would just be like, "Oh," I'm like, no. I don't even remember his name. If I knew his name, I would trash the shit out of him. But I don't even remember his name. So
well, if you're listening to this, they know who they are.
Yeah, getting called the fuck out, guy from the Vale, whatever the fuck your name was. He was the worst. He was a dick. He was one. He did that a lot. His character was always fighting people, always causing a lot of trouble. What other shit? I've seen a lot of. I told you about all the shadow magic demon people from Lord of the Rings Online. That was always fun.
Oh man.
Oh, the Old Republic was full of it, full of godmothers. People who thought like that they were crazy powerful Darths and Sith Lords who would like create these big can't even.
You okay, dude?
The salt.
Didn't one of our other officers nearly get date raped on that MMO?
The Old Republic, one of our officers?
Yeah, wasn't it Viola?
He might have been. I know I almost did.
Oh yeah, it was Viola, because I remember the conversation. Remember? It was where he was just like, nope, the fuck out, because they were asking them like, what is your IRL age name, or well, not your name, but your age and gender, and then he was like, nope.
It only says male and female on this gender. Clearly something's wrong.
Clearly, you know, I don't see a photo option.
Let's not start this.
I have to do things to make Lana mad. That's
Let's
all.
not start gender politics, please.
Well, Porty will school us with his degree.
We have one gender studies degree.
He'll put us all to shame. What else was?
Ranzo's
I guess
last podcast.
Ranzo's last podcast. I am this podcast. As we're sitting here just reading the fucking live chat that no one can hear or see from just the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
God, I like. This is the part of the podcast where I would usually go for an extra 10 minutes just on shit that I've seen, but there's so much I don't even know where to begin. I really don't.
I have a story that.
Please, I would love to hear this. It'll give me time to think mine.
I used to play the main villainess from a popular series. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna flat out say I used to play Cinder from the Ruby series, and I was the main fucking villainess.
Are you ashamed?
No, I'm not ashamed. By the way, she's fucking boss, and she will kick your ass. But there would be times where I opened up RP to like the public, and I was just like, hey, if you reply to this post, I'll maybe start a thread with you. There was this one motherfucker who instantly showed up on the scene.
Did he actually fuck mothers? Is what I want to know.
Probably did.
Maybe.
Ooh, then he was a boss.
You can't go screwing people's mums like that.
But pretty much the guy, right as he replied to the open post, instantly tied up my character with magical threads and summoned a dragon and was just like, prepare to die, Cinder.
Oh, it's this! Oh, no! That's not okay, Zaka.
It's not that one. It's not
Are
that
you sure?
one.
No,
yes, I'm sure.
I don't know which one. Hold on. I don't know which one that one is, but that's the fucking story you need to start. That's the story you need to tell right now.
That one was consensual.
It was a bit of tentacle porn, if you get what I'm saying.
See, if I had tentacles,
some of that dragon, what was it? What do we call it? What do we make fun of Leon's IC character for? His elder dragon porn, if you will, his erotica.
But
like that.
just instantly, right out of the woodworks, an OC ties up the main villainess, who is sneaky ass motherfucker, and she's not been caught yet, and the only reason she's actually lost something is because of Deus Ex Machina.
That's a good game.
And just this motherfucker decides, I can tie her up.
Well, yeah, that's how all good relationships start. That's how we met, Zaka.
I think just a random thought. I think we need to start having sound warnings on this podcast at the start, because Jesus Christ, my ears right now.
No one cares about you. You're European, Porty. You're not even a person.
I mean, us Americans yell all the time, so this is normal.
It's legitimate.
I get angry. When I get angry, I get loud.
We grew up with Samuel Jackson movies. Yelling is the only volume we know. Anyway, so that actually reminds me. Now that you've actually brought that up, so it's funny because I find that because I roleplay villains pretty much in every game I go to, at least originally. Don't mind the jingling. I'm getting dressed as I speak.
God damn it!
I'm putting on my dress clothes. I gotta go do shit. I find that it's like people like to think that the villainous characters are God mod because they want to be big bad villains and win, but it's most of the time I find it's the people who want to be the badass heroes that God mod all the time. Because and all of the villain guilds have been in across countless games, always people your character will be in full disguise, yet they'll still be getting followed. People can still see your name hovering above your head, or you'll log on in the middle of nowhere suddenly people from that hero guild are in that area looking for you. Like the guys I mentioned earlier, you start fighting, and then in the span of 2 or 3 posts, which at most could only be a span of 10 seconds, 8 people from their guild will just show up randomly. That's the kind of shit I find unacceptable. That's God modding to me. Knowing where people are.
It's metagaming, isn't it?
Yeah, it's metagaming. God mod. To me, metagaming and God modding are basically the same thing.
Can I go back to the Ruby topic? You just remind me of somebody.
Go on, baby.
Okay. Pretty much there was somebody it was a role player, original character, and pretty much with the Ruby OC, they did everything wrong. They were the adopted son of Ozpin and Glinda. They fell in love with Neo. They had a secret base under Beacon. They had cameras everywhere. They knew exactly who Cinder was and didn't like them. And I think the latest update is that they were an experiment with 2 souls in them, and they have a crazy evil side, but they never get punished for it. And you know what? I'm just quitting.
I don't know what any of them names mean, but I assume it's weeb trash from.
I assume it's weeb trash. Now, excuse me, I need to go back to reading my Shonen Jump.
I need to get back to my Western cartoons like SpongeBob SquarePants.
You fucking! I can't wait until Brexit happens, and then you can be a real person again because you won't be part of Europe. Porty, I love you. Zaka, is there anything else you wanted to add before? Because I think it's time. I think it's about that time.
I quit!
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Oh.
Okay, well, I guess I can...
So I'll see you next week then, Zaka?
Yes.
All right.
I can finish off with this person's name in game here. His name is Plizgivstab. Look out for him. He may be a role player coming soon. Maybe.
Keep an eye out for up-and-coming role player on the rise. Please give stab. Also, in the Guild Watch for the week in terms of Guild Wars 2, we have the top 3 guild rankings. Number 1 is Dank Nest. Not Dark Nest. Dank Nest still remains the number 1 guild in all the land. Number 2 is Booty Clap Gang. I haven't seen them around, but that's still pretty on point. And
Tyrese Washington Company.
Hold on, I'm getting to that. Number 3 is we lost Smudgem, so I'm just going to carry it. Number 3, we got Smudgem back. Number 3 is, of course, Pack 53rd. I think everyone in this podcast can agree.
I could agree that the Pack 53rd is probably the best guild that I've ever run.
I think it's the best guild that's ever been.
Oh yeah, sorry, I meant that. That's what I meant when
I would say that somebody may actually take it seriously.
Who gives a fuck? They're not. If they take it seriously and get mad, then they should be. They're not following the first golden rule, which is don't be a cunt. That said, I would like to encourage everyone to hit up me or Lana, or just even the site, or hit us up in game, however you want to find us. Ask us questions about the podcast. Want to get on the podcast? This is me wrapping up, by the way. Want to get on the podcast? Have an idea for a theme, a topic? Let us know. If you do music, if you have any songs you want to get out there, if you have any friends who do, we're looking for an intro, outro theme. Hit us up with that. My name, I'm Ranzo Sucks, followed by a bunch of numbers I don't remember, and hit me up in there if you want to role play, if you want to look at how handsome I am, or if you just want to tell me that I'm terrible. People do that. That's actually all people do. It's pretty good. Before I end it, Porty and Smudge, do you want to plug anything? Any particular guild or anything you want to plug?
Yes,
I've already plugged this several times.
Yeah.
So, please do it.
Okay, fine then. I am the guild leader for Pack 55 Battalion, as I said last fucking episode I was on. Wait, no, the one before the last one.
Unfortunately.
We are a packed guild. And, I mean, we've been getting a lot of applications recently, but we're still not closed on them applications, everyone, except for the Priory applications. So you know what? If you want to hit us up with a Vigil character or an Auto Whispers character, we'd love to take you in. And you can come hang out with me, Ranzo, Zachar, and Smudgem.
All right. So, like I said, hit me or Lana up on Discord or 2RP forums. On Engine. Fucking go. Just fucking go.
I want to say this episode is sponsored by Audible.com. Remember, Audible.com.
I want to, for next week, I'm going to learn how the Japanese do it in between animes. We're like, and then they just fucking throw their ads in. Anyway, join us next week when we finally sit down with Tyrese Washington for a one-on-one interview. See you guys then.
See ya.
See, the key is to just say something funny or meaningful after I say the really stupid join us next week for, because Lana won't be able to cut it. I know what that is.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, baby.
Yeah.
So it's cut now. They won't hear me saying, like, I want a gay daddy or something.